Hello friends, this is your Yoganandam, biology lecturer from Edall Academy YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss one of the biology full syllabus paper for NEET examination. As per new pattern, we are going to discuss full syllabus paper with detailed solutions. Especially the students, those who are preparing for NEET examination, for them this video is prepared. Before going to the topic, those who are watching our channel, you are requested to like, subscribe and share to your friends. Let us continue the question and answer with detailed solutions. Question number 1. Which statement is not true for binomial system of nomenclature? Binomial nomenclature or two naming system or binary nomenclature is formal way of naming the organisms and is given by Carolus Linnaeus. Here the first word represents the genus while the second word denotes the species name. So the incorrectly given option is option B. The first word in the biological name represent the species name is given while the second word denotes the genus name. That is the incorrect sentence about binomial nomenclature. Question number 2. In which of the following nuclear membrane is absent? Nostoc is a prokaryote while rest are eukaryotes. The nuclear membrane is absent in prokaryotes. So the answer for this question is option D, Nostoc. Question number 3. Term viron is used for. Term viron is used for single virus. Viruses, due to the absence of cellular organization, they can survive only inside living host cell, thus called an obligate intracellular parasite. They cannot be cultured in an artificial medium. A viron is an agent that infects living organisms, often causes disease. Question number 4. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria produce ATP by. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria produce ATP by oxidizing various inorganic substances. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria oxidize various inorganic substances such as nitrates, nitrites, and ammonia and use the released energy for their ATP production. They play a great role in recycling nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and sulfur. Question number 5. Which of the following is not a characteristic feature of bryophyte? Formation of axillary spores. Bryophytes are simple, small, amphibious. That means they require both water and land and do not have vascular tissue system. So it is commonly called as atracheata. Axillary spores are not formed. Vegetative reproduction is quite common like fragmentation, tubers, gemmae, buds, and adventitious branches. Question number 6. In Funaria, the number of peristomial teeth is. In Funaria, the number of peristomial teeth is 32. The sporangium of Funaria is composed of apophysis, theca, and operculum. The peristome lies immediately underneath the operculum. It consists of two sets of long conical teeth. There are 32 teeth are present. The teeth of both sets are on the same radii and thus opposite to each other. Question number 7. In the given diagram, A and B is given a structure which are modifications of the stem. Then probable example of plants in which A and B can be observed respectively will be. See the diagrammatic representation. First one is represented as bougainvillea. The second one is represented as grapevine. Underground stem may be modified store food. The underground stem examples: potato, turmeric, ginger, colocasia, zaminkan, etc. Stem may be developed into tendrils that may be used for support. Examples: grapevines and gourds such as cucumber, pumpkins, and watermelons. Stems may be developed woody and pointed thorns for protection. Example: bougainvillea, citrus. Stem may develop chlorophyll and perform photosynthesis. Example: opuntia. Stem has flattened structures. Euphorbia. Stem has fleshy cylindrical structures. Stem may help in spread and vegetative propagation. So the structure A represented as bougainvillea, B is grapevine. Question number 8. Read the following properties. Which of these are seen in mango as well as coconut? First three properties are common for both. In mango and coconut, the fruit is known as drupe. They develop from monocarpellary superior ovaries and are one-seeded. In mango, the pericarp is well differentiated in the outer thin epicarp, middle fleshy edible mesocarp, and inner stony hard endocarp. In coconut, which is also drupe, the mesocarp is fibrous. So the answer is option A. Question number 9. Root does not help in the absorption of water in which of the following plant? In Pistia, roots are poorly developed as it is free-floating hydrophyte. Hydrophytes are aquatic plants that have adapted to living in aquatic environments. These plants are also called as macrophytes. So the answer is option A, Pistia. Question number 10. Read the following statements with respect to dicot stem and select right choice. In dicot stem, the epidermis is covered with a thin layer of cuticle with a few trichomes. Except for option 1, all other options are the characteristic feature of dicot stem. So the answer for this question is option D. Except statement 1, remaining all the statements are correctly given. Question number 11. The two types of ribosomes are. In eukaryotic cell, ribosomes are freely present in the cytoplasm are of 80S type. These ribosomes consist of smaller unit that is 40S and larger unit 60S in the endoplasmic reticulum. It will be involved in protein synthesis and thus embedded within the nucleus. It is freely present in dissociated in the nucleoplasm. So the answer for this question is option B. Endoplasmic reticulum fixed, nucleus free. Question number 12. Match the chromosome with their properties. See the tabular column. A chromosome is supercoiled DNA which is visible during divisional phase of cell cycle. These chromosomes contain chromatids and show primary constriction sites called the centromere. Depending on the location of the centromere, the chromosome is classified as metacentric. Centromere is at the middle. Telocentric, it is a terminal centromere. Acrocentric, centromere is located close to end, marking one arm very long and the other one very short. Submetacentric, centromere is close to the center but not at the center. So the correctly matching option is option C. Question number 13. The leg hemoglobin that imparts pink-red color to the root nodule is located in. Leg hemoglobin pigment is closely related to hemoglobin and helpful in creating an optimal condition for nitrogen fixation. Like hemoglobin, leg hemoglobin is an oxygen scavenger. Fixation of nitrogen is done with the help of enzyme nitrogenase, which functions under anaerobic conditions. Leg hemoglobin combines with oxygen and protects nitrogenase in the cortex of the root. So the answer is option D, cortex of root. Question number 14. The loosely arranged non-chlorophyllous parenchyma cells present in lenticels. The loosely arranged non-chlorophyllous parenchyma cells present in lenticels are called as complementary cells. The tissue inside the lenticels is more loosely packed, called filling tissues or complementary tissues. Each lenticel acts as pathway having lens-shaped openings through which gas can diffuse. The answer is option A. Forms a lens-shaped opening. Question number 15. T.W. Engelmann performed his experiments on which of the following? T.W. Engelmann split light into its spectral components and then illuminated a green algae cladopora placed in suspension of aerobic bacteria. He used aerobic bacteria to detect oxygen evolution site and observed the maximum bacteria accumulation in blue and red region of the spectrum, indicating that a maximum photosynthesis occur in this region. So the answer is option A, green algae. Question number 16. Which of the following wavelength of light is absorbed maximum for photosynthesis? Blue light is the wavelength of light that is absorbed maximum for photosynthesis. Blue light is absorbed not only by chlorophyll but also by carotenoids, and some carotenoids are not in the chloroplast. Further, carotins and xanthophylls make up the carotenoids. Carotins do not transfer absorbed energy efficiently to chlorophyll, and thus some part absorbed blue light is not going to photosynthesis. So the answer is option B, blue light. Question number 17. When succinyl CoA is converted into succinic acid, the energy storing compound formed is. When the succinyl CoA is converted into succinic acid, the energy storing compound is GTP, guanosine triphosphate. GTP, guanosine triphosphate. The energy storing compound is formed when succinyl CoA is converted into succinic acid. Question number 19. Cytokinin was first discovered by Skoog and Miller. The first cytokinin was discovered by Miller, Skoog, and Strong in the year of 1955 during the callus tissue culture of Nicotiana tabacum. It was a synthetic product formed by autoclaving herring sperm. It is a kind of fish. From the herring sperm DNA, it is isolated. The synthetic product was identified as 6-purpuryl aminopurine and named kinetin. Question number 21. A few statements describing certain features of reproduction are given below. In both asexual and sexual reproduction, there is a transfer of genetic material. In asexual reproduction, the progeny has an exact resemblance with parents, and in sexual reproduction, the progeny has some resemblance with parents. So the answer for this question is option C. From the given statements, certain features of reproduction are given. From that, the options that are true for both asexual and sexual reproduction are second and fourth statements. Question number 22. In the developing ovule of most of the angiosperms, megaspore mother cell situated within the nucellus. One cell of the nucellus towards the micropylar and enlarges and derives nutrition from the nucellar cells. This is called megaspore mother cell. It undergoes meiosis to form a linear tetrad for 4 haploid megaspores. Out of these, 3 megaspores towards the micropylar end disintegrate. The one towards the salazar is the functional megaspore. So the answer is option A, towards the micropyle. Question number 23. Callose thickening found in endothecium of anther vallis. Callose is a polysaccharide having repeating units of beta glucose with beta 123 glycosidic bonds with some beta 126 branches. Callose is produced during pollen grain formation, cell plate formation, and also a stress response. Callose present in the endothecium helps in the dispersion of pollen grains. So the answer is option B, a polysaccharide made up of beta glucose monomers. So that is found in the endothecium of anther wall. Question number 24. Generally, the number of integuments in the ovule of angiosperm and gymnosperm is. Integuments are tough outer layers that protect the ovule. It will develop into seed coat after the egg cells are fertilized. In angiosperms, 2 integuments are found in the ovule, while in gymnosperms, only 1 integument is found. So the answer is option C, 2 and 1. In angiosperms, 2 integuments, and in gymnosperms, 1 integument. Question number 25. If a colorblind woman marries a normal visioned man, their sons will be. Colorblindness is an example of Mendelian disorder. It is a sex-linked disease in which person cannot distinguish between red and green colors as both of these colors appear gray. If colorblind woman marries a normal vision man, all her sons will be colorblind. So the answer is option C. If a colorblind woman marries a normal vision man, the sons will be all colorblind. Question number 26. The genotype of the male plant is capital T, and the genotype of the female plant is small t. What would be the genotype of endosperm? Ploidy of endosperm is triploid and it is formed by triple fusion, in which second male gamete fuses with two polar nuclei present in the central cell of the embryo sac. If the male parent capital T, then male gamete will have capital T and female parent will have small t. Two polar nuclei will have small t and small t. Thus, genotype of endosperm is capital T, small t, small t. So, the answer for this question is option B, capital T, small t, small t. Question number 27. With respect to the ABO blood group, there are four major blood types because this blood group is determined by. Blood group is determined by three alleles I power A, I power B, and I power O. Alleles I power A and I power B are co-dominant. Blood group A is determined by I power A, I power A, or I power A, I power O. Blood group B is determined by I power B, I power B, or I power B, I power O. Blood group O is determined by I power O, I power O. Blood group AB is I power A, I power B. So the answer is option C. There are three alleles of which two are co-dominant and the third is recessive. Question number 28. Which one of the following symbol and its representation used in human pedigree analysis is correct? The analysis of traits in several generations of family is called as pedigree analysis. In the pedigree analysis, the inheritance of particular trait is represented in the family tree over generations. In human genetics, the pedigree study provides a strong tool which is utilized to trace the inheritance of specific trait, abnormality, or disease. Some important standard symbols used the pedigree analysis and are option A, mating between relatives. So that is the symbol and its representation used in human pedigree analysis is correct. Question number 29. Which of the following is correct regarding genetic code? There are 64 triplet codon which code for 20 amino acids. This is due to degeneracy of code as some amino acids are influenced by more than one codon. Only tryptophan and methionine are specified by single codons. All other amino acids are specified by two. Phenylalanine, that is triple U, and UUC to 6. Arginine, that represented as in 6 codons. So the answer for this question is option B. There are 64 triplet codons and only 20 amino acids were formed. Question number 30. Corona got the Nobel Prize. Marshall, Nirenberg, and Hargobin Corona have determined with the sequence of bases coded for which amino acids with the help of experiments. The genetic code is a triplet code. Each codon is made up of three adjacent nitrogen bases. 61 codons code for amino acids and 3 codons do not code for any amino acids. Hence, they function as stop codon. The answer is option B. Corona got Nobel Prize for genetic code. Question number 31. Following pair of the organism are used for antibiotic production. Approximately 25% of penicillium strains and 40% of the aspergillus strains yield antibiotics. Aspergillus fumigators, and Penicillium notatum are the two strains which yield antibiotics in higher concentration. So the answer is option B, Aspergillus niger and Penicillium notatum. Question number 32. Mycorrhiza is a symbiotic association between Mycorrhiza is a symbiotic association between fungus and the roots of higher plants. The association between plants with phosphorus uptake from the soil and the fungi get their house in the plants. There are ectomycorrhizae and endomycorrhizal. So the answer is option C, fungi and roots of higher plants. Question number 33. The role of bacteria in carbon cycle is bacteria are decomposers that break down organic compounds. They decompose plant and animal waste products and return carbon back in the environment. So the answer is option C, decomposition of organic compounds. Question number 34. The biomass available for consumption by the herbivores and decomposers is called. The biomass available for consumption by herbivores and decomposers is called net primary productivity. It is equal to the rate of organic matter created by photosynthesis minus the rate of respiration and other losses. So the answer is option A, net primary productivity. From section A, botany, there is the last question, question number 35. A triploid angiosperm is triploid developed due to the combination of diploid gamete with a haploid gamete. Such zygote will have three sets of chromosomes. Such progenies are found to be infertile as they have uneven number of chromosome sets which will not pair correctly during the meiosis process. They won't able to produce seed as well. So the answer is option D, sterile and seedless. From botany section B, there are 15 questions we are going to discuss. First question. Lichens are ecologically important as they pioneer species are species that invade a bare area. Lichens are considered as pioneer in initiating the plant succession on rocks. They secrete acids that dissolve rocks that help in withering and soil formation. So the answer is option B. Lichens are ecologically important because they are pioneer of barren rocks. Question number 2. Selaginella has tendency to form seed called seed habit because it follows. Selaginella shows many of the several adaptations required to produce a seed. They are collectively called seed habit of Selaginella, presence of heterospory, retention of megaspores inside megasporangium in Selaginella apis and Selaginella rupestris, formation of two types of gametophytes, etc. So the answer is option C, both A and B. Question number 3. The floral diagram represented below will be seen in which family? The floral diagram given seen in Brassicaceae family. From the given floral diagram, see the floral diagram. The plants has 4 sepals, 4 petals, 6 stamens and an ovary having 2 locules, that is bicarpellary syncarpus gynoecium. This type of flowers seen in the family Brassicaceae, which includes mustard, cabbage and cauliflower. Question number 4. A bicollateral vascular bundle is characterized by a vascular bundle is part of the transport system in vascular plants. The transport itself happens in the stem. The two types of tissues present in the vascular bundles are xylem and phloem. Both these tissues are present in a vascular bundle, which in addition will include supporting and protective tissues. Bicollateral vascular bundles are conjoint vascular bundles having phloem both on outer and inner side of xylem. Example, cucurbita. So the answer is option D, xylem surrounded by both the sides by phloem. Question number 6. Aerobic respiration is called. Respiration uses oxygen and completely oxidizes organic food, mainly carbohydrates, to carbon dioxide and water. Therefore, the releases the entire energy available in glucose. It is divided into two phases, glycolysis and aerobic oxidation of pyruvic acid. Because it takes place in living beings, that means biological matter, it is called as bio-oxidation process. So the answer is option C, bio-oxidation. Question number 7. The female gametophyte of typical dicot at the time of fertilization is the embryo sac in female gametophyte in dicot. The most common type of dicot embryo consists of 7-celled and 8 nucleate structure. It consists of 1 egg cell, 2 synergids, 3 antipodals, and a large central cell with 2 polar nuclei. So the answer is option B, 7-celled. Question number 8. Which of these genotypes are of homozygous individuals? Homozygous individuals breed purely for a character. They should have the same allele for a particular character. Capital A, small b, capital C is homozygous dominant for capital A, homozygous recessive for capital B, and homozygous dominant for capital C. Thus, this organism is homozygous and will produce only one type of gamete. Similarly, capital A, capital B, capital C, and capital A, capital B, small c are the homozygous too. So the answer is option D. All of these genotypes are homozygous individuals. Question number 9. Select the correct statement regarding protein synthesis. Protein synthesis occur in ribosome, therefore, they are also called protein factories. Each ribosome has two unequal subunits such as small and large. The largest subunit of ribosome has a groove for pushing out of newly formed polypeptide and protecting the same from cellular enzymes. The smaller subunit fits over a larger one like a cap but leaves a tunnel for mRNA. The two subunits come together only at the time of protein formation. The phenomena is called as association. Mg2 plus is essential for it. So the answer for this question is option A. So option A is the correct statement regarding protein synthesis. When the small subunit of ribosome encounters an mRNA, the process of translation begins. Question number 10. What is true about ecosystem? Ecosystem producers, that is green plants, are always more than consumers such as herbivores, carnivores, etc. So the answer is option C. Producers are more than primary consumers in terrestrial ecosystem. That is the correct statement regarding ecosystem. Question number 11. Which organism does not produce oxygen during photosynthesis? All prokaryotes carry out an-oxygenic photosynthesis. They lack PS2, thus they cannot use water as a source of hydrogen but uses hydrogen sulfide as a source of hydrogen instead of. Rhodospirillum is a photosynthetic bacteria. They do not release oxygen. The answer for this question is option D, Rhodospirillum. Question number 12. Which of the following arrangements of xylem is absorbed in a stem? Early formed smaller xylem is called as protoxylem and later formed xylem called as metaxylem. In stem, xylem is endarc with protoxylem placed towards the center and metaxylem is placed towards the outer side of periphery. So the answer is option D. From the given arrangements, xylem is all the statements are absorbed in stem. Question number 13. Choose the set with the same type of fruits. In mango and coconut, the fruit is known as drupe. They develop from monocarpellary superior ovaries and are one-seeded. In mango, the pericarp is well differentiated into outer thin epicarp middle fleshy edible mesocarp, and an inner stony hard endocarp. So the answer is option A, mango and coconut, same type of fruits. Question number 14. Steel includes all of these except a central part of present in the root or a stem having the tissues derived from the procambium is known as steel in plants. The steel contains the vascular bundles, xylem and phloem for the storage and transport of water and nutrients. Pith is ground tissue which stores and transport nutrients in the plants, and it is located in the center of the stem in some plants. The pericycle is a layer of cells which surrounds steel. So the answer is option D, endodermis. As per new pattern, botany followed by zoology. From zoology section A, we are going to discuss 35 questions followed by section B. From section B, totally there are 15 questions are given. From 15 questions, only 10 questions are asked to mark. So let us discuss section A. Question number 1. Which of the following palindromic sequence is recognized by ECORI? See the given options: GAATTC towards 5-3 end, from 3 to 5 end, while you are saying it is CTTAAG. It is recognized by ECORI. So the correct palindromic sequence is option A. Question number 2. Identify the odd one from the list of organisms given below. Hyla, it is commonly called as tree frog. Salamandra, it is commonly called as salamander. And Echinopsis, limbless amphibia, belong to the class Amphibia. Calotus, garden lizard, belongs to the class Reptile. So the answer for this question is option D, Calotus. So it is odd one from the list of given organisms. It belongs to reptiles. Question number 3. Which of these statements is incorrect about platyhelminthes? Platyhelminthes of flatworms have dorso-ventrally flattened body, hence they will appear rectangular in cross section. These are mostly endoparasites found in animals including human beings. Flatworms are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and acoelomate animals with organ levels of organization. Hooks and suckers are present in the parasitic forms. Some of them absorb nutrients from the host directly through their body surface. Specialized cells called as flame cells help in osmoregulation and excretion. Sexes are not separate. Fertilization is internal and development through many larval stages. So the answer for this question is option C. Their sexes are separate, fertilization is internal, and development is through many larval stages. So that is the incorrect statement about platyhelminthes. Question number 4. The most common or abundant connective tissue in the body is areolar connective tissue. The areolar connective tissue is a tissue with small open spaces, that is called as areola, and with small air pockets between the network of cells and fibers. Within this tissue, there are three main types of cells such as fibroblast, white blood cells, and mast cells, and three types of fibers such as collagen fibers, elastin fibers, and reticular fibers, a fluid matrix called as ground substance. So the answer for this question is option A. Question number 5. Consider the following three statements A to C and choose the correct option to fill the blanks. See the first one. Tight junction helps to stop substances from leaking across a tissue. See the statement B. In all connective tissue except blood, the cells secrete fibers. Statement C. Fibroblast cells produce and secrete fibers in connective tissue. So the correctly matching option is option C. Question number 6. Which of the following statement is false regarding proteins? Amino acid gets polymerized to form peptide chain by the linkage of successive amino acids through peptide bonds. Peptide bond is formed in between two amino acids by eliminating a water molecule. The polarity of polypeptide chain is due to its different polar terminal groups. In a polypeptide chain, one end contains an amino group which is called N terminal, while the other end polypeptide chain contains carboxyl group, it is a COOH, which is known as the C terminal of the polypeptide chain. So the answer is option D. The first amino acid in the polypeptide chain is called as C terminal, and the last amino acid called as N terminal amino acid is given. That is a false regarding protein. Question number 7. Which of the statement is true regarding K? Michaelis and Menton in the year of 1913 introduced a constant, that is Michaelis constant. It is mathematical derivative or constant which indicates the substrate concentration at which the chemical reaction catalyzed by an enzyme attains of its maximum velocity, that is Vmax. Km indicates the affinity of the enzyme for its substrate. So the answer is option D. The statement is true regarding Km. What is the meaning of Km? Km, that is Michaelis constant. All the statements are correctly given. Question number 8. The anapase promoting complex is activated by. The cell cycle is controlled by the enzymes like cyclin dependent kinase, that is CDKs. The CDKs phosphorylate amino acids like serine and threonine, which initiate or block activities related to cell cycle. In eukaryotes, multiple cyclins are present and each of which act during a specific checkpoint in cell cycle regulation. Common classes of cyclins includes G1, that is space of cyclins, G1S, S space of cyclins, M space of cyclins. So the answer is option A, that is MCDK cyclin. M-phase cyclins from MCDK complex and drive the cell's entry into mitosis and acts on the anapase promoting complex. Question number 9. Which of the following papillae are without taste bud in the human tongue? Filiform. Filiform papillae are the most numerous of the lingual papillae. They are found all over the dorsum of the anterior two-thirds of tongue. Unlike the other kinds of papillae, filiform papillae do not contain taste buds. They cover most of the front two-thirds of tongue's surface. Question number 10. Sectional view of alveoli with a pulmonary capillary is shown below. Identify the right match in context to the options given below. See the diagrammatic representation. The diagrammatic representation, first one represented as basement membrane, second one represented as endothelium. So the correctly matching option is A. Basement membrane. The basement membrane is a sheet of proteins and other substances to which epithelial cells adhere that forms a barrier between tissues. Endothelial cells form one cell thick walled layer called endothelium that lines all of blood vessels. Question number 11. If due to some injury, the chordae tendineae of the tricuspid valve of the human heart is partially non-functional, what will be the immediate effect? The immediate effect is the flow of blood into the pulmonary artery will be reduced. If chordae tendineae of tricuspid valve becomes partially non-functional due to injury, then the flow of blood into the pulmonary artery will be reduced. The chordae tendineae are a group of string-like tendinous bands found within both ventricles of heart. Question number 12. Removal of calcium from freshly collected blood would. The process of blood clotting starts when prothrombinase catalyzes the conversion of prothrombin, that is an inactive protein in blood plasma, into thrombin, active protein, in the presence of calcium 2 plus ion, that is a blood clotting factor 4. Thrombin converts fibrinogen into fibrin, that makes fibrin threads on polymerization with blood corpuscles and forms blood clots. So therefore, if calcium 2 plus is removed from the blood, it will prevent clotting. So the answer is option B. Calcium removal prevent blood clotting. Question number 13. Which of the following substances can be reabsorbed by DCT, distal convoluted tubule? Reabsorption is the process where the renal tubules reabsorb a good volume of substances from the glomerular filtrate. Distal convoluted tubule plays a role of reabsorption water, sodium and bicarbonate ions. So the answer is option A, sodium, water and bicarbonate. Question number 14. A fall in glomerular filtration rate activates juxtaglomerular apparatus, operates multi-hormonal renin-angiotensin aldosterone system, that is commonly called as ROS. The juxtaglomerular apparatus responds to a decrease in blood pressure or blood volume in the different arterioles of the glomerulus and releases the hormone renin into the bloodstream. In the blood, renin initiates chemical reaction that converts a plasma protein called angiotensinogen to peptide called angiotensin 2, which works as a hormone. Angiotensin 2 increases blood pressure by causing arterioles to constrict. It also increases blood volume in two ways. Firstly, by signaling the proximal convoluted tubules to absorb more NaCl and water, and secondly, by stimulating the adrenal gland to release aldosterone, a hormone that induces distal convoluted tubule to reabsorb more sodium and water. So the answer is option C, juxtaglomerular cells to release renin. Question number 15. Cartilage is formed by chondrocytes. Cartilage is a solid but semi-rigid and flexible connective tissue. Cartilage is a non-vascular connective tissue consisting of chondrocyte cells embedded in a resilient matrix of chondrin. Chondrin is a protein of cartilage. Question number 17. Which of the following statement is true regarding the role of acetylcholine in nerve physiology? When acetylcholine is released into the nerve terminal, the space between a nerve and muscle, it binds to the channel and induces a conformational change that opens the channel. The binding of acetylcholine at a certain synapses increases the selective permeability of the cell membrane, open channels that admit any plus and initiate a nerve impulse or muscle contraction. So the answer is option A. It increases the selective permeability of the cell membrane. Question number 18. Select the correct statement. Vasopressin, that is ADH, secreted by hypothalamus. The endocrine system of invertebrate is simple. T3 is secreted from follicular cells of thyroid gland. So the answer for this question is option A. Pineal gland secretes melatonin. That is a correct statement. Question number 19. Out of the following hormones, how many are secreted from adenohypophysis? Hormones secreted from adenohypophysis stimulate the other endocrine glands of the body to release their respective hormones. Similarly, there are some inhibitory hormones also released from the anterior pituitary in order to curb the release of hormones further, thus preventing the diseases caused due to the hyper level of the hormone in the blood. From the above given list, there are four of them: prolactin, growth hormone, LH, and MSH. are four hormones which are secreted from the adenohypophysis. So the answer is option D. Question number 20. How many are incorrect matches in the following? Totally, there are four statements are given. Cleavage is a rapid mitotic cell division of zygote in the fallopian tube. Spermiation, releasing of sperms from the head of Sertoli cells to lumen of seminiferous tubules. Implantation, the implanting of blastocyst to the endometrium of the uterus, which lead to pregnancy. So the answer for this question is option A. From the given four statements, there are three statements are incorrect matches. Question number 21. The endometrium is found in uterus of mammals. Word endometrium is composed of endo and metra, which in Greek language means within and uterus respectively. Question number 22. The assisted reproductive technology process called GIFT uses. GIFT stands for Gamete Intrafallopian Tube Transfer. It is an assisted reproductive technology used in females who cannot produce an ovum but are capable of providing the necessary conditions for fertilization and implantation. In this technique, the ovum is collected from donor female and it is transported to the fallopian tube of mother. So the answer is option C. Transfer of ovum collected from donor to the fallopian tube. That is the assisted reproductive technology process of GIFT. Question number 23. The term surrogate mother is used for. Surrogate woman is one who bears a child on behalf of another woman, either from her own egg fertilized by the other woman's partner or from implantation in her uterus of a fertilized egg from the other woman. So the answer is option C. Future mother with a transplanted embryo. That is, the term surrogate mother is used. Question number 24. Which of the following is a closest relative of man? Chimpanzee is the closest relative of man, the banding partner of human chromosome number 3 and 6 are remarkably similar to that of chimpanzee, including a common origin for both. Chimpanzee and human genome shows a similarity of about 98%. Question number 25. The infectious agent transmitted through food and water causes typhoid. The infectious agent are transmitted through food and water such as typhoid, amoebiasis and ascariasis. The bacteria Salmonella typhi, the protozoan Entamoeba histolytica and the helminth Ascaris lumbricoides contaminate food and water. Question number 26. The first line of defense is skin. The skin acts as a main barrier between invaders, that means pathogens, and our bodies. Mucus coating of the epithelium lining the respiratory, gastrointestinal, and urinogenital tracts also help in trapping microbes entering the body. So the answer is option C, skin. Question number 27. Caffeine, amphetamine, and cocaine are nerve stimulants. These drugs stimulate the nerve system, make a person more wakeful, alert, and active and cause excitement. Caffeine and cocaine are natural stimulants, while amphetamine is a synthetic stimulant. Question number 28. The recorded evidence of plant breeding dates back to. Plant breeding refers to the purposeful manipulation of plants to create new desired varieties or types of better cultivation, better yield, and disease resistance. Conventional plant breeding has been practiced for thousands of years since the beginning of human civilization. The recorded evidence of plant breeding dates back 9,000 to 11,000 years ago, and the present day crops are the result of domestication in ancient times. So the answer is option A, 9,000 to 11,000 years ago. Question number 29. Competent, which means as DNA is a hydrophilic molecule, it cannot pass through cell membrane as it is hydrophobic in nature. Therefore, the bacterial cell should be made capable of uptaking DNA. They should be competent. So the answer is option C. Increase efficiency with which DNA enters the bacterium. Question number 30. Xerophytes are Xerophytes are plants growing in water-scarring environment. These plants show numerous adaptations to survive in drought conditions. They resist the drought conditions by conserving or storing water and tolerate high temperatures through desiccation of the tissues by shutting down the metabolic activities. Good example is cactus. So the answer is option D. Drought resisting, drought tolerating characters are seen in xerophytes. So option D is correct. Question number 31. The presence of deserts, rainforest, mangroves, coral reefs, wetlands, estuaries, and alpine meadows signify dash type of biodiversity. Is ecological biodiversity. Biodiversity is the term popularized by the sociobiologist Edward Wilson to describe the combined diversity at all the levels of biological organization. The most important of the are genetic, species, and ecological diversity. So the answer is option A, ecological diversity. Question number 32. Bali, Javan, Caspian are three subspecies of Panthera tigris are Bali, Javan, and Caspian. The IUCN Red List 2004 documents the extinction of 784 species, which included recently extinctions of these three subspecies of tiger. So the answer is option B, subspecies of Panthera tigris. Question number 33. The most common indicator organism that represent polluted water is E. coli bacteria. Coliforms are a group of bacteria found in human metabolic waste. Presence of such bacteria, that is E. coli, is a member of the fecal matter in the surface water is common indicator of fecal contamination. So the answer is option E. Question number 34. Which of the following is incorrect regarding the erythroblastosis fetalis conditioning in pregnant women? A special case of RH incompatibility or mismatching has been observed between the RH negative blood of the pregnant mother with RH positive blood of the fetus. This led to the formation of the specific antibodies against RH antigen in mother blood. So the answer is option C. Specific antibodies against RH antigens are formed inside fetal blood. So that is the incorrect regarding erythroblastosis fetalis. Question number 35. The application of biotechnology includes all except. The application of biotechnology includes biofortified crops, gene therapy, molecular diagnostics. Conventional breeding is the method that uses hybridization to create new combinations of genes from parent varieties. So the answer is option D, conventional hybridization. From zoology, section A followed by section B. From section B, totally there are 15 questions are given. From the 15 questions, asked to mark 10 questions. So, question number 1. Prestes and Caracordan are. Prestes are also called as sawfish, and Caracordan is known as a great white shark. Belongs to the class Pisces, that is chondric thighs. These are marine animal with a streamlined body and have cartilaginous endoskeleton. So the answer is option C, fishes. Question number 2. What will happen if ligaments are cut or broken? Ligaments are specialized connective tissues that connect bones together. Hence, if they are cut or broken, the bone will become unfixed. They consist mainly of collagen fibers arranged in bundles of fibroblasts present in rows between bundles. So the answer is option C. Bones will become unfixed. Question number 3. A DNA strand is directly involved in the synthesis of all of the following except protein synthesis. The process by which the information in genes flows into proteins. DNA forms RNA. RNA is responsible for protein synthesis. The sequence of amino acid during protein synthesis is directly dependent on the sequence of nucleotides on mRNA and indirectly by the sequence of nucleotides on DNA. So the answer is option B, protein synthesis. Question number 4. Synapsis is pairing of. Synapsis is pairing of homologous chromosome. Synapsis occurs in zygote stage of prophase 1 of meiosis 1. The homologous chromosome comes close to each other and forms a pair. Question number 5. When you hold your breath, which of the following gas changes in blood would first lead to urge to breathe? Raising carbon dioxide concentration. The rise in carbon dioxide concentration stimulates chemoreceptors present in the aorta and carotid artery, which stimulates the respiratory center. The respiratory center is not directly sensitive to oxygen concentration and hence desire to breathe is induced by raising carbon dioxide concentration of the blood. So the answer is option B. Question number 6. If both ovaries are removed from the rat, the concentration of which hormone is decreased in blood? Estrogen level is decreased in the blood. Estrogen is released from the theca interna of Graafian follicles. Oxytocin is secreted by posterior pituitary and prolactin is released by anterior pituitary. Gonadotropin releasing factor is produced by the hypothalamus. So the answer is option C, estrogen. Question number 7. Find the odd one out with respect to hormones secreted by placenta. HCG, HPL, estrogens and progestogen hormones are produced by the placenta in women only during pregnancy. Oxytocin is released by the maternal pituitary gland at the time of childbirth due to fetal ejection reflex. So relaxin is produced by ovary only during pregnancy. So the answer is option C. Oxytocin is odd one with respect to the hormone secreted by placenta. Question number 8. Convergent evolution is illustrated by the independent formation of functionally similar structures by an unrelated organism is called as convergent evolution. The analogous structures are a result of convergent evolution, different structures evolving for the same function and hence having similarity. So the answer is option A. Flippers of penguins and dolphins are illustrated by convergent evolution. Question number 9. An antiviral chemical produced by the animal cell is interferon. Interferon are a group of signaling proteins made and released by host cell in response to presence of several pathogens such as viruses, bacteria, parasites and also tumor cells. The interferon act as cytokine barrier in innate immunity. Question number 10. What is true about Bt toxin? The Bt toxin is a inactive protoxin gets converted into an active form in the insect gut. So the answer is option D. Bases forms protein crystals during a particular phase of their growth. These crystals contain a toxic insecticidal protein. Actually, the Bt toxin protein exists in inactive prototoxin But once an insect ingests the inactive toxin, it is converted into an active form of toxin due to the alkaline pH of the gut, which solubilizes the crystals. Question number 11. Gauss principle of competitive exclusion states that it is a proportion named after Gregory Gauss. Gauss' principle of competitive exclusion states that two closely related species competing for the same resources cannot coexist indefinitely, and the competitively inferior one will be eliminated eventually. This may be true if limited resources are present. So the answer is option C. No two species can occupy the same niche indefinitely for the same limiting resources. So that is the Gauss principle. Question number 12. Three levels of biodiversity are genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecological diversity are the three levels of biodiversity. Immense diversity, that is heterogeneity, exists in our biosphere not only at the species level but at all levels of biological organism, ranging from the macromolecules within cell to biomes. Sociobiologist Edward Wilson described the combined diversity at all the levels of biological organization. These are genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecological diversity. Question number 13. The use of bioresources by multinational companies and other organizations without proper authorization from the countries and people concerned without compensatory payment will be termed as biopiracy. Bioethics may be viewed as a set of standards that may be used to regulate our activities in relation to the biological world. Patents which are being granted for biological entities and for products derived from them are known as biopatents. Question number 14. Read the statements A to D and select the correct options. See the statement A. Mitosis produced two identical daughter cells, that is correct. B. Meiosis introduces variation due to gene exchange, that also correct. C. After anaphase, the chromosome has two chromatids, that is incorrectly given. In mitosis, an equational division in which one cell divides to form two identical daughter cells. Meiosis produces genetic variation due to crossing over, which occur during prophase 1 of meiosis. During anaphase, centromere splits and two chromatids are separated and starts moving to opposite poles. During anaphase 1, the homologous chromosome move to opposite poles, hence the reduction in number of chromosome happens. So C is incorrect. D is correctly given. So the correct option is C. From the given four statements, A, B and D are correct. Thank you very much for listening our videos. Those who are watching our videos, you are requested to like, subscribe and share to your friends. So in this video, we have discussed totally there are 100 questions from biology full syllabus.